Welcome back. This is part two of For the Health of It, featuring Richard Hawthorne. Rich, we left off where you was talking about you were able to purchase the gym space, Southern Elite over in Deouterville. So you can pick up there.
At that point, before then, I guess need to rewind. So I got the gym, the old gym, and at that point, that's where I literally started becoming my own. So at that point, I've been in and I understood lifting naturally through just experiencing it.
Right.
Okay. Come 2010, that was my first full meet back. And I started to actually be able to delve down into powerlifting once again. And I was older, wiser, but I still had the young drive, at this point. So 2010, I came back and I did my first meet, and I was surprised at how much my strength stayed, due to how I was lifting, and came back and I did a pretty big number for a 132er, being out. But so from late 2008 to early 2010, I was training pretty heavily without doing any full meets. Now I did, meets as far as like deadlift only and stuff like that. But came back full meet, boom, hit it, great numbers and things like that. At that time, also the same year was my first time going to, after not going to the Arnold Classic, it was first time going to a convention in 5 years.
Gotcha.
And went to the convention, and to the Arnold Classic, and that's where Animal came into play. I went to the Animal Cage, and people that remembered me from all those years, it was like, hey, that's Richard. And they asked me, it was like, hey, dude, you want to participate in the cage? I was like, yeah, what you got? There was like 500 for reps. It was called Bros versus Pros. And it's a good video of that on YouTube. But
is that when you walk into like this cage and it's like a red floor?
The cage, the floor was black, but it was the cage. The Animal cage is where Animal, they usually, and really we kicked it off. Me and another person kicked it off. 2010, they what they would do, they would throw the athletes in there and allow them to do lifts for the crowds, in the convention center, so it was a gimmick of people getting to see, the best of what they do what they do,
Mm-hmm.
And this particular competition, or not competition, this particular event, it was the pros, and it was the bros, or the spectators, who signed up to get to lift with the pros, and they needed somebody. I can't even remember what side it was, but I joined. They needed somebody to fulfill all the teams. It was like, hey, you wanna do it? I was like, yeah. But little did they know, they knew that I was stronger. They knew that I could do 500, but they didn't know what I was capable of.
Right.
So obviously I'm the lightest person. At this point, the closest person to me was 198 pounds. And the closest person to him was 230. So there's 4 people each team, okay? And whichever team hit 500 for the most reps wins. So that was the competition. So they was like, you want to go? I was like, yeah. And immediately they walked off. I was like, they have no idea what they just did. So so I immediately thought, okay, I'm the smallest. They're going to want me to go first. But the other team went first. So that person, he was probably like 240. He went first and he hit 500 for 6 reps.
And this is deadlift,
And
right?
this is deadlift. I'm sorry. Yep. This is deadlift. And immediately I was like, okay, now it's my team's turn. They're gonna want me to go first because they gonna figure, oh well, he ain't gonna be able to do that many, maybe 2, maybe 3, you know.
Right.
So I collect my belt. I go up there. One of the guys got in my face to kind of pump me up, but I'm not like that. I don't get pumped up physically or aggressively. So it kind of moved them out the way, and then I started to go. Did 1, 2, 5. Ended up hitting 10 reps at 132. So at that point, you know, the MC was like, y'all know what y'all got to do now. You know, this guy is 135 pounds.
Right.
You can't get less than 10 reps.
Right.
So the pressure was on, and from that day on, Animal called me. They sponsored me, and it was like, this guy is serious. So from that point on, from 2010 to 2018, I was sponsored by Animal every year. I would go there and I would do amazing feats, and that's where my name really expanded from that platform. So, but again, going back from 2010 to 2013, I was doing my competing. I was doing the Animal Cage every year, and also 2013 came, and they had a world meet down in Australia, and Animal wanted to do a documentary, and they wanted to choose 4 American lifters to go down there and to do this meet. And they asked me if I wanted to do it. I said yes. So it was, I'm not sure if you're familiar with any of the powerlifting guys of that era. You had, you know, Eric Lillibridge, you had you had Sam Bird, you had Brandon Lilly, you had Garrett Griffin, and then you had myself. And they were all Animal sponsored.
Nice.
So they flew us all down to Australia, and then you had huge names from overseas. I'm gonna mess up their name. Yeah, I'm not gonna even try it. But you had huge names from overseas, and you're talking about heavy hitters. So you have the best of the world at this time.
Right.
And throughout the documentary, they followed us into workouts. They flew us to New Jersey and stuff like that, and all that. You know, the whole production part. We finally got down to Australia, and I already knew that I was going to turn it out. You know, it's just because I prepared and I was ready, and I know me. You know, and they, you know, in this documentary, they focused on, you know, other people, the bigger guys that were looked to win the whole thing. But when it came down to it, that was my day. I mean, I tore it up. You know, I hit an all-time squat world record of 562 at 132 raw. I hit a 308 bench raw, and then I hit a 601 deadlift, which I had no idea what I did at that point. You know, I knew that I was going to win, you know, through coefficient, you know, which I did. But at that point, I didn't know that I did 11 times my body weight, which put me at the pound for pound strongest person in the world. I'm like, I literally did what I said I wanted to do. You know what I mean? And it was profound at that moment. And this was a learning this was a learning curve for me. And a lot of people, well, this is a learning curve for me and a lot of people. But at that moment, I was like, I said I wanted to do it. This is what I wanted to do. And at that moment, I was excited. But a few seconds later, I was like, I did it, but that's it. Like, I imagined it to be greater than what it was. You know, it was just an instant, like, I hit a goal and that was it. But when I started to think about it, and what I realized what was important about this whole thing was
The journey.
The journey was what fulfilled me, and not the goal. The
Right.
goal, when I thought about, oh, I did it as the goal aspect, I was like, that's nothing. That's a trophy. A trophy to me, and what I wish people think trophies as is, yes, the accomplishment, but what I'm gonna do with this trophy? I'm just gonna look at it.
Exactly.
But the experience of getting there is everything, So that was a huge learning curve, and again, that was a big moment, and it went on, 2015. I did some meets in between there, continue on, but 2015 is when I, got to my gym, which was uh, the one that's in Diablo.
Good deal. Good deal. Uh, let's talk about. It seems like you have a lot of experience of speaking things into existence. Can you go into that real quick, like?
Um, Again, I take this and I give all the credit to my upbringing. Uh, Playing outside a lot. Um, when you play outside, you create imagination. When you create imagination, you believe in the things that you want to do, because that's an imagination. You want something, you believe in it, you have faith in it. So the way things happen to me, and it always seems like it falls in my lap, but it doesn't. But it seems like that to a lot of people, and it seems like that to me until I realize all I do is fully be me. I'm playful, and when I'm playful and doing the things that I want to do, okay, as a person, I gravitate to the things that I love doing.
Gotcha.
So when I gravitate to the things that I love doing, that's actually monetary, or not even monetary wise, but that's actually developing your passion and developing something that you can monetize or put yourself in a position to get money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Um, and granted, don't get this wrong, it puts me in a position. I've struggled ever since I've had a gym. I mean, it's been a struggle financially. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? A lot of people say you got your gym and things, but it doesn't always seem as, I've struggled.
Right.
During that time, still, up to the recent years. You know what I mean? But when you do the things that you love, you typically go into and do. You talk to the right people, and you're always prepared in the right situations and circumstances. You know what I mean? So you're always ready and playful. You know what I mean? You do the things, and you're just at the right place at the right time. You're
Gotcha.
always prepared because that's what you love doing. So that happens. You present something in a way of playfulness or performing or whatever. People see it, and then things just build. You
Gotcha.
see what I'm saying? So that's how things work, and that's how I believe things are supposed to work. Is you do what you love, and it's a passion, then you're going to tend to do the things that you need to do in it for it to build. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So that's there was no when I opened up that gym over there, the first little gym, there was no plan.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the place. All right, let's get equipment. I got equipment, and I'm trying to do a little business. So therefore, you got to get this permit. You got to get this permit. It's like, I want to do this. Okay. So it was go as it comes. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
And like I said, it's typically how you want it to go. If you sit there and have plans with a lot of things, yes, you want to have an idea of what you want to do. But if you go with strict plans, plans are destruction, because of if you have set plans, if that one particular thing don't go as planned, you get disappointed, and then you feel some type of way, and then you go to another part of that plan, that happens, and it don't go. Not to say that it don't go the way it's supposed to, or it's not a step forward, but just because it didn't go like you wanted to go, it's a negative thing in your mind.
Right.
Okay. And as that builds more and more, then you take it as we take it as a natural thing. We take it as a negative thing. You know what I mean? And then we start resisting what we did love, you know what I mean? So those plans kind of deteriorate your whole process of what you love, because now you're in your head and you're not going by your heart what you love, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So with that being said, it's a simple saying: if you want to make God laugh, tell him your
Oh yeah.
plans.
Oh yeah.
So that's true, because of the simple fact that all we can do is go with the flow of things. If we go with what we love doing and whatever pops up, you take care of that thing at that moment and then move on, then that's a easier way of getting to success. It's going with the flow.
Gotcha. All right. Rich, before we get you out of here, man, how did you maintain your body weight while also getting stronger?
In powerlifting, people think that in order to get stronger, you need to pile on weight. That's just automatic. They all automatically do that or think that. They're like, oh, I need to get bigger, bigger, bigger. No, I realized that if I can stay this weight and continue to get stronger, why not? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Why not? You know, why not? So, being bigger is not a perk. You know what I mean? Being bigger means your proportions change, means that health issues, no matter if it's muscle or not, health issues, your frame is made for a certain width. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. I found my performance, my natural performance weight for my frame, and I
Mhm.
stuck with it. And my technique over the years became better and better because I stayed the same proportions. So I got stronger and stronger at the same body weight. So I didn't gorge. I've always been an active person, so I didn't eat that much, but I ate when I did eat. You know what I mean? But that's where it's at, and I had a great development.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, before we get you out of here, man, we got to get you back on in the future because I got a couple more questions I want to ask you concerning powerlifting, concerning your business, and also concerning other things inside of fitness. But before I let
Well,
you go, go ahead. Go ahead.
um, and I'm whenever you're ready, I'm ready, because we haven't even gotten to the good things
Good.
as far as the mental and spiritual aspect of things
Yeah,
and
that's
lifting.
that's all I want. I want all that. As Matt Barnes would say, we want all the smoke. But go ahead, man. Shout out your social media if you can.
um, Social media that I have is, of course, Facebook, but that's more personal. Um, Instagram, it's Core Strong 010. And my YouTube is just Richard Hawthorne. I haven't been putting a lot on those platforms, but I have a ton of content that I try to put out there just to help people. You know what I mean? So feel free to go there, and a lot of speaking content of the mental, spiritual aspect, and form and technique wise. So y'all check that out.
Yes, sir. Hey, Rich, we certainly appreciate you coming on with us. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.